I want to tell you about a special day, a special moment that I hold in my heart. But first, let me start with a question you've probably never been asked to this day. Have you ever had a second birthday? And I don't mean have you ever turned two, have you ever received this blessing that not many will ever achieve? What I'm talking about is foster care. It was only ever meant to be interim care, but it becomes an entire childhood of experiencing the unfair. And I must tell you, for many, it's too much to bear. But at the age of 6.5, I was adopted by a loving mother. And for 13 years, she celebrated that day without ever telling me. And one day, I finished up my training in the military. She called my phone and said, "Happy birthday, son." And I'll be frank with you, I was worried for her health. Like maybe she spent too much time in the sun because that wasn't my birthday. Mom, my birthday's in September. And she said, "Today is the anniversary of when I adopted you. Remember?" And at that moment, though I had this mechanical device allowing us to speak to each other from 1,000 miles away, at that moment I felt like I was standing right in front of her. And those were the easiest tears I've ever shed in my life. They rolled down my cheek and fell to the ground and blessed this earth with so much love it cured everyone's frown. I could be blind and see the light that she shines. I could be deaf and still hear the bells ringing and singing the songs of how much my adoptive mother cherished me. I could lose all of my nerve endings and still feel touched because all five of my senses told me that I was blessed, and all of my emotions started to burst out of my chest, and I became grateful that I got to be part of this family crest, and that she encouraged me when it's time for me to leave my nest. And that was only because she knew I was going to be my best. So again, let me tell you how I was blessed. See, I went from not knowing if I would ever have a place to call home to receiving the discipline that only a caring mother could ever give. See, she was strict, but it was because she cared so much about providing me a good life to live. And I remember the first time coming home from the military. I was minding my own business in the living room, and I stumbled upon this book called Book of Memories. And when I opened that book, you want to know what I saw? I saw myself, but in the way that my mother looked at me. I saw the memories that only half of the joy could ever be captured in that Polaroid. This overclothed, happy little kid sliding in the snow on a sled made from a trash can lid. I saw a smile that I had when I looked at her. And sometimes I wish I had taken pictures of her in the way that I looked at her. Because now, pictures and memories is all I got. See, in 2017, this mechanical device I spoke of earlier that allowed us to hear each other from 1,000 miles away was the only thing letting me feel near her. And this time I was 4,558 miles away. And the only thing I could do is listen. And I wish I could have just said one thing back about my adoption. Mom, the day you adopted me, you became my home. So I'm sorry to say this, but now that you're in your final resting place, I sometimes still drift from place to place, but I always live my life aiming to put a smile on your face. Love you, Mom.